Standoff between President Trump and a federal judge over the deportation of hundreds of Venezuelans. The judge criticized what he calls a woefully insufficient response to his demand for information about the government's actions. Senior national correspondent Terry Moran is tracking the latest from the White House. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. The showdown between the Trump administration and the federal judiciary is nearing the breaking point over that deportation of hundreds of Venezuelans in the U.S. to a notorious prison in El Salvador over the weekend.
This morning, a constitutional confrontation. U.S. District Judge James Boasberg, in a sharply worded order, calling the Department of Justice's explanations of this incident woefully insufficient. And he slammed the DOJ's apparent attempt to stonewall the court, writing, "The government again evaded its obligations in failing to explain exactly when those flights carrying the Venezuelans took off and left U.S. airspace last weekend." The Trump administration ignored the judge's verbal order in court to turn the planes around and return the men to the U.S. immediately, instead allowing them to land in El Salvador. The White House claims the judge's written order holds more weight than the verbal order he issued from the bench earlier. President Trump on social media apparently lashing out at the judge. Judge James Boasberg is doing everything in his power to usurp the power of the presidency. The president has also been calling for the impeachment of Judge Boasberg. That's brought a rare Supreme Court rebuke from Chief Justice John Roberts, who issued a statement declaring, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision." Administration officials are now waging a public battle with the judge.
This judge has no right to ask those questions.
The administration claims the men on board those planes are members of criminal gangs, and many are being deported under the Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which allows the government to deport people with little to no due process. But the White House has not provided any detailed information on exactly who they are. Attorneys for Jersey Reyes Barrios, a professional soccer player from Venezuela with no criminal record, say he was apparently one of the men sent to El Salvador. His attorney says Barrios came to the United States border legally seeking asylum in September 2024, but he was accused of being a gang member by law enforcement because of his tattoos that were similar to ones affiliated with the gang Tren de Aragua. Speaking to ABC News, Barrios' aunt says his tattoos are inspired by soccer. It's not just the president who gets the last word, she says.
And just to underline what the administration's sweeping legal argument is here, they're saying the president has the power to round up hundreds of people and deport them to a prison in a foreign country with no hearing, and he has no obligation to any court to show what the evidence is against these individuals or even to say what their names are. Lindsay?
We'll see what the response is to that. All right, Terry, thank you.